Welcome to ADOBOLOCO. Today we're interviewing Tim Parsons, co-founder of ADOBOLOCO. But you already knew that because you're already watching this channel.
How's it going, everybody? Good to be here with Xander today.
We thought that we would start off with some standardized questions just about the business to kind of get the juices flowing. The most obvious question is probably, why did you start ADOBOLOCO?
Well, there was never a plan to start ADOBOLOCO. We just living on Maui, homeschooling our kids, bringing them out of public school. Yeah, this guy, first one to start. Decided to expand the garden that we already had, but really allocate a portion of it for homeschooling. And in that process, Harrison our middle son, decided to grow jalapenos and grow a lot of them. So we had a plethora of jalapenos, gave a bunch away, didn't want them to go to waste, so we decided to preserve them and make a sauce out of it. From that sauce, that point, from there was no idea of putting a business together. It literally transformed over 1.5 to 2 years from that point before there was a business.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Usually how the most successful businesses have started is through happy accidents.
It was definitely an accident that was not planned. Similar to like our third child, Scarlett. Happy accident.
That's very true, because five's a party. So ADOBOLOCO just started naturally, in a way.
Mm-hmm. And really, I mean, my brother-in-law, Rourke, suggested we start a business. And I really wasn't into starting another business. I was already working remotely for, doing freelance design work, and didn't really want to start a business at that point, but it just worked out to do so.
That's awesome. Just had kind of that snowball effect.
Yep.
Eventually morphing into the business and what it is today. So what do you do at ADOBOLOCO specifically?
Specifically, I mean, it's a little bit of everything. Obviously, running the business, ordering ingredients, creating formulas, taking care of all of the approvals and everything else that we need to get for our formulas and processes and everything, helping with cooking, smoking peppers, researching new equipment that we need to get and test. And so it's a little bit of everything. Washing dishes. Cutting produce, helping you.
I usually wash dishes.
Yes, he would.
Just saying.
At the end of the day, he does 90% of the dishes.
Jack of all trades.
I wear a lot of hats, but not literally.
Wouldn't want to cover up that hair.
Right?
That luscious hair.
No.
So what do you like the most about your job at ADOBOLOCO? What do you enjoy the most?
I think working with you and Scarlett and Mom, because if I had a normal 9-to-5 job, I wouldn't be able to do that. But besides being close and working with my family, I like formulating new flavor profiles and really developing things that go well with food, because we love cooking and eating food. So it's enjoyable coming up with those ideas.
So you like the creative aspect?
Absolutely. I love the creative aspect. I love also the marketing and branding design side of things, because that's where my history is, career-wise.
So would you say that you've been able to be more creative in this job versus even graphic design?
Probably, because it's more facets of creativity versus graphic design. You're taking something that does not exist and starting from scratch with ingredients, developing flavor profiles, and on top of that, packaging it, designing it, branding it, marketing it. So it's a wide range of things to do to get a product out there.
So I guess another obvious question then would be, what are your 3 favorite flavors that we make?
Currently, well, to be honest, 100%, my current favorite flavor isn't out yet. We've developed the flavor, but it's coming. But my current,
it's a little cheeky.
yeah, my current favorite flavor, starting with number 3, is Taco Taco. Love it. It's like my favorite breakfast sauce. The reason I designed or created this sauce was to eat it with breakfast. I love breakfast sandwiches. So I created this sauce to go with a breakfast sandwich. But it goes good on scrambled eggs. It goes good with the breakfast burrito. I mean, it goes good with even a regular burrito, carne asada, whatever your jam is.
Sounds delicious.
It is really good. It's jalapeno based. It's got a little hint of smoke in there. It's just got a super good balanced amount of flavor for breakfast. I mean, and the heat is not crazy, so it's really enjoyable.
Awesome. And who doesn't love a good breakfast?
My second favorite, which is pretty new, it was also on Hot Ones season 21, is Jalapeno Chico. Love Jalapeno Chico. Again, I am a smoke fanatic. I love smoked foods, sauces. Only thing I don't like smoked is liquors. I don't like alcohol that's smoked for some odd reason. I don't know why.
Oh, that's very interesting.
But Jalapeno Chico, another one, jalapeno based, but way spicier and heavy duty dose of smoke. It's not a hint. It's there. So you could add it to chili. You could add it to stew. You could put it on just a little dab per bite of steak. However you want to enjoy it. It's another one that's really good. Tons of flavor. Definite depth of flavor and umami in there.
All right.
My all-time original OG flavor is ADOBOLOCO Hema Jang.
Of course.
This stuff, I mean, I've tried to even reformulate it to create a different version, and I can never reformulate it. This is like the gold formulation of a ghost pepper habanero smoked sauce. Never gets old. It just goes so well. One of my absolute favorite things, again, to eat this with is a lengua burrito. And just by the time I'm done eating that burrito, I am sweating bullets because I can't stop putting more Hema Jang on there.
Starting to make me hungry.
Yeah, and I am a sweater. I have a bald head, and you can definitely see the sweat coming out when I'm enjoying this spicy foods.
So the holy grail of ADOBOLOCO hot sauces, you could say.
Pretty much. I love that sauce so much. So good.
Beautiful. So then, kind of leading up to this next question, now that we've talked about your favorite flavors of hot sauce, what would you say that your heat tolerance is if you had to rate yourself?
I have a pretty high heat tolerance, but I don't eat hot sauce really for heat sake. I mean, I love the heat, but my sauces have to be, anything that I eat has to be complementing one another. I do not like things that compete with each other on the plate. Like if it complements it, that's where I'm at. If it's a little hot, then I'm enjoying it too. But I can go pretty high with spice levels. It's not just about heat for me. Yeah, so I mean, even in the process of making sauces and taste testing with my heat tolerance, my heat tolerance is not a good gauge in regards to labeling sauces, mild, medium, or hot. My family doesn't even trust me in that process because I'll tell them, oh, it's like a medium, and then they go and taste it, and they're like, oh my God, Dad, this is so hot.
We can all attest to that.
But in reality, it doesn't come off that hot to me. So, yeah, that's another aspect of, it's all subjective, I guess, in regards to spice tolerance and what you feel personally.
How would you describe the progress that the company has made so far then?
There's been some major things that have helped us progress. I mean, being on Hot Ones and everything else, but there has also been some major hurdles that we've hit. I mean, even in 2018, we almost went bankrupt. The company almost completely shut down because there was issues in production and all kinds of things went wrong that year to the point where we thought we weren't even going to survive. We were down to almost zero funds. We thought we weren't going to make it. But fortunately, we do try to keep our life, our lifestyle very simple and keep our bills to a minimum to make it possible so that if something does happen, we can kind of work through it and make it that way, make it through that. But it's hard. It's not the easiest thing to do. There's successes and then there's the down points, and it can go way down. The analogy is on a roller coaster. You're going to be at the top, and then all of a sudden you're all the way at the bottom, and then you need to ride your way back up. And I guess that's kind of what being an entrepreneur is, and really building a business is about. You just got to hang on and go for it.
Yeah, you got to be able to have that drive and that determination to actually see that through.
Yeah, it's not easy, but I wouldn't trade it for, a normal, I got to go clock in, clock out, doing widget job kind of thing, Nothing against that kind of job, but I personally wouldn't be able to be happy doing that.
It's not for everyone.
Oh, no, it's not. I mean, doing your own thing and creating your own business and products and everything else, a lot of people have ideas, amazing ideas, but the process is of really sticking to it and having the drive and I guess a little bit of crazy, because you got to hang on in the highs and lows, and it can get nuts.
Well, we know that you got the vision, but you also have the crazy as well.
I guess I do. I've been told that.
So how does the future look for the company then in the next few years?
Currently, from what I see right here, the future is very bright. No.
Yes, we do have very bright lights in the studio.
The studio lights are like seriously blinding me right now. We take it day by day. We do have goals. We have new products that are going to be coming out. So I see a pretty bright future. You never really know. You have plans, but, economy, everything, mortgage rates, whatever it is, all of that affects everybody. So, we put plans together and we're planning to execute on them. So we'll see how it goes.
Sounds great.
We look forward to everybody enjoying some new flavors coming up.
Absolutely. And then there's also this channel, which we've made to have better customer contact and entertainment for you people.
Yep. We're gonna be doing cooking videos. We're gonna have commentary, make it more enjoyable for everybody out there.
I like the sound of that. This is still relates to ADOBOLOCO, but kind of getting into more of the lighter questions now. What would you say was the worst thing that's ever happened to you on the job?
Prior to us being able to, have full ownership of like a small commercial space or warehouse, we had to store everything in our what used to be a living room, which we converted into a small production warehouse. We had an off-site commercial kitchen at that time, so we'd produce everything in the commercial kitchen, bring it back, warehouse it, label it, package it, get it ready to ship out. And one morning, Xander walks into the room and steps into water.
I say, hold up, wait a minute, something ain't right.
Probably 2-3 inches deep.
Yeah, my whole foot was in the water.
Yeah, so it flooded the whole room, just a plumbing leak, and we were complete noobs in regards to storage facilities and the processes and everything. That was 11, 12 years ago. No pallets, so all the cases were on the floor, on the ground, and everything got soaked. So we legitimately had to throw all that product away. That was a hard lesson to learn, and it's never happened again. Even if it does flood again, we did have another flood, but nothing was on the ground, so there was no issues with that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was horrible. Mistakes teach you probably the best lessons, really.
So now let's get into some more of your interests or hobbies. These are kind of the questions that I really like because it really lets people get to know you a little bit better. Mm-hmm. So, sure. What are some of your hobbies outside of ADOBOLOCO?
Outside of ADOBOLOCO, again, I love gardening. Still love gardening. I love cooking. Currently building out a new vegetable garden. and getting, hopefully being able to get that producing soon. But love also work the creative side of gardening and growing trees specifically for bonsai, training them, taking classes, learning from others, and really expanding on my knowledge of tree care and the horticultural part of it. It's pretty amazing seeing something go from, something that looks like a normal little tree, but really fine tuning it into a growing piece of art. I've taken classes from Michael Hagedorn. I have other classes that I'm going to be taking in the future to be able to get better at it, but also even collecting trees, from could be a tree that's possibly not going to survive in the mountains very much longer because of the stresses that it goes through. Collect that tree, bring it back to life, and create a beautiful bonsai out of it.
Sounds like it takes a lot of patience.
It does. It's teaching me a lot of patience, which I could always use. So it is. It's a lot of patience. It takes years to develop a tree. So you have to go at the pace of the tree. Similar to if you're raising young children, you have to go at the pace of your children.
Sounds like a peaceful activity, though.
It is. It's a good activity to be able to think about life and contemplate on ideas, and it's a good space to be in. I like it.
Much more peaceful than raising children.
Most of the time, yes.
So before hot sauce, then, what did you want to do?
Early on, I mean, career-wise, I thought that I wanted to be a fine artist. I always loved drawing, painting, doing things creatively. Through high school, I took every single creative class I could take. Art, painting, ceramics, photography, anything I could absorb myself into. But then, in that process, talking to fine artists that were very successful, it takes not 5 years or 10 years to create a reputation in fine art, but many, many years. I knew that I didn't want to struggle for a really long time to be able to support myself or a family or anything else. So I think my junior year in high school, I figured out graphic design and what that was. And back then it wasn't called graphic design, it was called advertising art.
Interesting.
Which is kind of funny because advertising art is graphic design, but it has the purpose of marketing behind it, or branding for your company. So I immediately got into that, started working on it and figuring out that I could do it and I could still be creative in it. Went to school after high school specifically for graphic design, and then had a 20-year career in design, marketing, and branding prior to starting ADOBOLOCO.
And you still use a lot of that today.
Oh yeah, the skills of that previous career and creativity and doing design and everything else, and I think the thinking process, because we helped a lot of clients go from nothing to the market. So we helped them from the time that they had an idea in a product, packaging it, marketing it, branding it, getting it to market. So I have been able to use those skills definitely in ADOBOLOCO. It's helped a lot.
So it's very cool that you still get to incorporate things that you aspired to be one day.
Yeah, currently ADOBOLOCO is my only client per se, I guess. Our own in-house client.
So what would you say your favorite dish or food is?
Got to go back to my original favorite dish is chicken adobo. That's how the name came about. Absolutely love it. Pestered my mom so much as a child that I wanted more of it. She was like, you got to learn how to cook this. I was probably about 12 years old when she finally told me I got to learn how to cook it. So she showed me her way of cooking it. And from that day on, I don't know, I've probably experimented with hundreds of variations and ways of doing it, but I've come to a point where, and by the way, a future video will be my method of doing ADOBOLOCO. It's not traditional. It's just the way that I decided I like it the best for me personally. I'll share it with you guys in a future video, and it's just delicious. It just covers everything. You got sticky rice, you got broth,
Yeah.
you've got chicken. It's so good. And then, the hot sauces go great on it. So, covers all the bases.
Looking forward to that. Chicken adobo is an absolute classic.
It is. It's so good.
So, do you have any special skills or talents that people might not have realized about you from being a graphic designer and making hot sauce?
I'm a really nice guy. No.
Someone consider that a special skill nowadays.
Right? No. I like helping people. I like giving people. I rather share versus. I wish we could actually just barter instead of selling product. I mean, I'd rather do that, but that doesn't exist in this time.
Yeah, I would never make it.
Yeah, I wouldn't either if we were doing that. But special skills, I think, still goes back to, I think I have the ability to see things in my mind in 3D and so visual that I can translate it into physical, from my mind to actual physical, creating something directly from my mind and becoming out in the physical world. And usually it comes from, within the creative realm. Ceramics, it could be, a painting, it could be a drawing, it could be anything. But now most of my creativity is putting into flavor profiles. I can visualize an ingredient and then match it up with other ingredients in my mind and almost taste it and then create it. Have there been failures? Absolutely. Lots of them. There's some sauces that barely made it, gone through iterations on some sauces. Put a recipe together, formula, put one test batch together. It's horrible. Completely rethink about it and do it, and it's a hit. So it's like I think that's my special skill, being able to see something in my mind and make it happen.
It's a very interesting skill. I like it, though. I think that if you ever did write a book or a biography or something, we have the name of the book. You could call it Tim's Three-Dimensional Mind.
Oh, boy. No.
Or My Three-Dimensional Mind.
Right. But I don't know if anyone would really be interested in that. They might get lost because sometimes even I do. No.
Do you have a favorite band?
Honestly, I do not have a favorite band. I do love music, but for me, it's about the mood that I'm in for the type of music. Like, if I'm just jamming, working, actually, say I'm working on a new label design or something like that, and I'm just going for it, I'm listening to probably some sort of electronica, no lyrics in it, just straight music, going. But on a chill, like Friday afternoon, working, answering some emails or doing something, listening to some reggae but a specific band, no, I don't have this is my favorite band ever.
Kind of in line with the Three-Dimensional Mind.
Yeah.
So then should I even ask if you have a favorite movie then?
Probably not, because I don't have a favorite movie either.
All right, that's a no list on the band and movie.
Sorry, movie files. Or I do like movies, but it's extremely rare that I'll ever watch a movie twice.
Wow, you hardly ever hear of that. Lots of people have those movies that they watch over and over again.
No, I can't watch a movie over and over again because I already know what's going to happen. That's part of my ADHD, probably.
So no movie reruns, just
no movie reruns.
Just Adobo reruns.
Food reruns, I like. Yes.
All right, so let's get into some of the more fun questions. These are a little bit more out there.
Sure.
It's the classic deserted island question. If you were on a deserted island, what 3 items would you bring with you?
If I was on a deserted island, I'd probably bring a knife. No! Number 1.
All right, we got the knife.
Number 2, probably some sort of fire starter. And number 3, your mom. Definitely your mom. Because then we could be together, keep each other warm.
We don't need to know about that. We don't need to, not at all.
We got a way to catch food, cook food, distill water. We got it all. It's all good.
So by calling her an item, you're objectifying her, basically.
Wow. Are you seriously going to go there? Wow. Okay, if she's... Not at all.
I'm obviously kidding.
I would not do that.
No, that's a good list. Good options. So out of the whole Adobo Loco crew, and we can include Harrison in this, even though he's kind of the wild card, who would you say is the best singer out of everyone?
Best singer. I mean, all of you guys sing pretty good. It's definitely not me. I am not a good singer whatsoever. Fortunately, you guys all got that from your mom. I think it would be a toss-up between Scarlett and Harrison.
Okay, just leave me out of it.
Yeah, sorry.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
No, it's good. It's good. We want honesty here.
Yeah.
I can handle it.
I think I would probably, between one of them, the two of them, I'd say one of them is probably the best singer.
All right, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so now out of this list, you're going to have to choose one of these to keep, and the other three you would never be allowed to use again. So we either have Spotify or Apple Music, whatever audio platform that you use. There's Netflix, Instagram, and YouTube. So you got to pick one, but the other three you'll never be able to use again.
I'd probably just keep YouTube.
Keep YouTube.
Yeah. Because it covers like short form, long form, educational, entertainment. You get everything out of it. I mean, I probably watched almost every single bonsai video that exists on YouTube.
It's true. It's hard to pass up YouTube. It just has so much stuff on
documentaries. So, yeah, I'd probably have to give up everything else.
If you could go back in time and witness or watch any event in history live, what event would that be? So you're not changing anything. It's passive. But if you wanted to watch or observe something, what would it be?
I don't know. It might be kind of interesting of seeing my great-grandparents, my great-great-grandparents immigrating from the Azores and Portugal to Hawaii at that time because, to find work and feed their families. That would be kind of interesting to see.
Okay.
I never really thought about an actual event, but, that would be a big event for your family to have to immigrate that far.
So you'd want to witness the journey.
Yeah, the journey, I think, even though it was extremely hard, would be pretty interesting to be on. Even my great-grandfather's journey, after the fact of making it to Hawaii and then getting sent back to Portugal, and him and his brother having to make it back on their own when they're about 12 and 14, working on a ship, taking care of cattle. His brother bailing off in Boston and him continuing on around all the way back to Hawaii again to find his father. So it was an interesting time for sure.
Yeah, sounds like it'd be fascinating to be there and witness that.
Yeah, and that's the one that I can think of off the top of my head.
Well, thank you for taking the Adobo Loco interview.
Absolutely.
It's been a pleasure having you on the show.
Oh, thanks for having me on your show. Next, I'll have you on my show.
Sounds great.
All right.
Well, that's it for now. We'll see you shortly in another video. We'll be interviewing some of the other members of Adobo Loco, so stay tuned for that.
All right. See you later.